So our next presentation is Master Edgar Lock Tin Young. Is a Feng Shui and Chinese astrology consultant. He's based in Melbourne, Australia, and he's combining a traditional lineage of Feng Shui with the study of Chinese astrology, and says he's the 39th generation holder of San Yuan Yuan Gua lineage. Now, unusual presentation today. He's going to talk about yellow Spring Sha, which is a harmful form of energy in Feng Shui. And as much as we do not like to use Feng Shui to bring fear to people, to frighten them, there are times when there is a negative energy, and if we can find that and moderate it, then that is important too. So it's a little bit unusual. He's Yellow Spring is a poetic way of saying the underworld. So he's going to talk about how some of this dangerous energy can be found and moderated. So I'm going to welcome you to our space, Master Edgar, and invite you all the way from Melbourne, because I think you're the only participant in the Southern Hemisphere, and invite you to share. So good morning, good evening to you.
Thank you very much. I hope you all can hear me. Yes, since
At a volume now.
Yeah,
can hear you. Yeah, lovely.
Okay, good. Thank you. Good evening, everyone from Melbourne. It's 9 o'clock, almost 9 o'clock here. So maybe I cannot join all the way along, but I like to share some of my learning, my experience with you guys. Hope we can all grow together and learn together. Victoria and also Alexandra had done a little bit of interview on me, and the video is on the YouTube channel. So if you want to know a bit more about myself, you're welcome to look at the YouTube video. So let's look at the topic I'm going to talk. So I can share my side, right? So I can give you some of my history of myself here. So my name is Edgar Lock Tin Young. I'm the 39th generation Yanggong San Yuan Yuan Gua Feng Shui holder. That means I learned from my master learned from his master learned from his master. So it's like generation passed down generation. And we all respect this great grandmaster Yang Xun Song. He is our grandfather of Feng Shui. He was born in 838 and passed away in 906 in the Tang Dynasty, late Tang Dynasty. If you know a bit of Chinese history, you know the Tang Dynasty. Toward the end, there's a rebel, and there's a rebellion called the Huan Chou. Huan Chou is a person, actually, is a leader. Try to overturn the Tang Dynasty. So great grandmaster Yang Xun Song, he had to leave the Gina was talking about the terracotta there, the Xi'an, the Xi'an area. Then he bought the Feng Shui book and leave Xi'an and moved to Jiangxi. Jiangxi is a province in between the Fujian province and the Canton, Canton province. So it's more southern China. So from Song or Song Tang and then Song Dynasty onward, in this area, the Feng Shui is very, very popular there. Right now, still very, very popular Feng Shui in this area, in Jiangxi, in Fujian, in Guangdong area. Particularly area close to this Jiangxi area. I was born in southern China. Our village is about 300 kilometers from this particular area. Jiangxi, the place called Sanliao, which is great grandmaster Yang Xun Song first come to this place. And then I'll show you the map here roughly. So that's Jiangxi area, okay? In Jiangxi, that's Fujian, and that's Guangdong area. I was born around here in this area here. So it's very close to that. So in our village, in our area, everyone, talk about Feng Shui. And Feng Shui actually is not a taboo, or when the parents reach the age of 65, 70 years old, they will ask their children, hey, you have to find me a burial spot and find me a good Feng Shui spot. So that's why, in Southeast Asia, or in these areas, people are quite wealthy. And I just look at some information in Malaysia. Actually, 9 out of 10 top richest guy or almost from this area. It's and also they're very hardworking as well. If you got good feng shui, you make you work very hard for sure. So great grandmaster Yang Xun Song come to this area. He taught 3 students, like 3 disciples. Many students, but 3 disciples. They have the Zhang Wen San, Liao Zai San, and then Liu Jiangdong. So Liu Jiangdong is our lineage master. Liu Jiangdong is our lineage master, and he followed great grandmaster Yang Xun Song for his latest 6 years until he passed away. So he get all the technique from great master Yang Xun Song, and from the Liu Jiangdong lineage, we are allowed, or Liu Jiangdong allowed to teach different surname. In the old time, the traditional lineage is very strict. The Liao family and the Zhang family, strictly speaking, they only allow to pass to their own family, their own children, grandchildren, and pass on. But the Liu Jiangdong family, Liu Jiangdong lineage, is allowed to pass out. So from then, he spread 2 different lineage out. One is the Liu Jiangdong, his son, grandson, and then his own lineage. One is from his son-in-law. So his son-in-law also teach. So there's 2 branches spread out. To make it short, from Liu Jiangdong, the Liu family, and the Liu son's lineage. My master's master his name is Liu Guosen. So if some of you know a little bit of Chinese history during the Cultural Revolution, Feng Shui, Chinese astrology, they're all banned. They're not allowed to practice in China. And Grandmaster Liu Guosen, he's a Feng Shui fanatic. He read a lot of books, and then he was caught. Say they are, promote superstitious and things. So he was actually sent to Jianxi, this area called Sanliao, for re-education. And in Sanliao, everyone say, "Oh, I know Feng Shui, so we teach him this, and that." Eventually, he met up the 36th generation grandson of Liu Jiangdong, and Liu Jiangdong, the 36th grandson, showed him the handwritten Feng Shui technique, and then he tested out and find out, wow, that is really, really good. This is a really genuine Feng Shui he never see in published in the book. And also, when we learn the technique, we are not allowed to publish a book to write out the core technique there. So that's why, in the Feng Shui world, there's so many different schools, different Feng Shui schools there. So this is Liu Guosen. This is my master. This is me. And this is become like disciple ceremony to be that was back in 2019. I became a disciple in 2019. So, and now because I've been learning from his technique, so he's actually allowed me to teach a disciple class. So I teach the advanced class and also a disciple class. So that's how I come to to this stage right now. Okay. So let me show you I can close this and let me show you more. Okay. So yellow spring Sha is, in Chinese culture, yellow spring is when they dig the ground and dig, and the water come out. They will make the soil muddy and yellowish. So it's called a yellow spring. And in short, yellow spring is when we all die, we go to Yellow Spring. So that's related to health issues. So if in Feng Shui, there's such configuration that will affecting our health a lot. So there are formulas. There are formulas in if we look at this is the so-called killing people Yellow Spring Sha method formula. So this the poetry. So Ding is the in fire and young metal, in fire and young metal facing. If there's a Kun sector water, Kun water sector water coming in to the house, or Kun water sector water can be a toilet, can be open a door there, or can be a stove. Then it will.
Mr. Edgar, can I just interrupt? I just want to interrupt for a second and ask you, because we're still looking at the other presentation. Have you brought a new presentation up? Because that one we can't see.
Oh, okay. So
yeah, so if you want to, you've got that presentation about your history, and we're still looking at it. If you want to take that off, and then if you have a new one, bring that up. That would be great.
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay, no.
So can you see it now?
We can see it now. We're looking at your copy, Killing People Yellow Spring Method formula. That's what we're looking at.
Yes.
Lovely.
Okay. Right.
Thank you. Sorry to interrupt.
No, it's okay. So because I am not so familiar with the Zoom operation. So I'm not sure how you guys do you need to study a little bit Chinese symbol, or you use the in fire or young metal. So the first sentence here is the ding is the in fire, and the geng is young metal, and then the kun is one of the gua, or can be one of the 24 mountain sector. So if facing ding or facing geng, the kun water coming in, like kun water, like there's a river water coming in from the kun sector, or if you open a kun door, or you have in this kun sector, we have a stove, or you have a toilet, or you even have a washing machine there, that will cause this formula to do some harm to the occupant. And it also can be reversed, like if it's a kun facing house or kun facing house, then the ding water coming in, or if in the ding sector, the in fire sector, we have a stove, we have a toilet, then that will cause this Yellow Spring Sha formula. Then the second one is the xun, the xun, xun, if the xun facing, then we have to be aware of the inwood, and then the yang fire sector. Incoming water, meaning if you open a door, like when we open a door, the qi come in, and as you all know, the qi is the mother of water. That's from the book of burial. The qi is the mother of water. So when you open a door, there's qi coming in, there's water coming in. And if we have a house facing xun, and then the yi water or bing water coming in, then it will cause this Yellow Spring Sha. It works vice versa. If there's a yi facing or bing facing, then we have the xun water coming in. It also called a Yellow Spring Sha. Then another young wood and in water, young wood and in water, young wood in water. And we don't want to see the gun in young wood in water. Then we have to be very careful of the gun. That's the east facing, and then the north and this west, we have the in metal xing, and the yan water ren. So if the in metal xing or yan water ren direction, then we have to be very careful about the qian coming in. If it's a qian facing, then we have to be very careful about the xing in metal or yang water coming in. Sometimes it can have both. Sometimes it can have both. So this yellow spring Sha is a very important formula. So learning this formula, we can identify to reduce a lot of problem for the client. In a good 24 mountain law pan, in the 24 mountain law pan, they will actually marking this yellow spring Sha in the law pan there. So according to this formula, we have to look at the Qian, the Kun, the Qian and Kun, the Gen and the Xun. So this four area, it will be related to yellow spring Sha. So this is a simplified version. On the compass, I show you on the compass how they mark. But generally, if on your hand you have a good law pan, like a San Yuan law pan or San He law pan, they will show this formula for sure. So you see the Xun here, we have the Xun and the Yi and the Bing. So it reminds us, if there's a Xun facing, then Yi and Bing has to be very careful. If it's a Bing facing here, then the Xun water, we have to be very careful on that. If it's a Yi facing, then Xun water here. So Yi and Bing, we have to be aware of the Xun water. Xun facing, we have to be aware of Bing and Yi water. That's the formula, what the formula say. And then here the Kun, right? The Kun, we have to be aware of the Ding and the Gen. If it's a Gen, young metal facing, we have to be aware of the Kun, right? The Kun. And if it's a Ding facing, we have to be aware of the Kun again. So we said Ding and Gen, we have to be aware of the Kun. And if it's a Kun, we have to be aware of Ding and Gen. Okay. That's in these four, intercardinal directions. The Gen here. The Gen, we have to look at the Jia and the Gui. Okay? So when it's a Gui, we have to look at the Gen. When it's Jia facing, we have to look at the Gen Gua, Gen water. In the Qian area, northwest, in the northwest, the Qian area, like Qian facing, we have to be aware of the Xing, in metal, or yang water. And if it's in metal facing, we have to be aware of the Qian, and it's a Ren. Yang water facing, we have to be aware of the Qian. So basically, this is the formula in the four intercardinal directions. You have to be very, very careful on this. I will show you some example later. So this is in a law pan, in a law pan, if you see here, this is the Ren, yang water, and it remind us we have to look at the Qian, okay? And then the Qian, we have look at the yang water and in metal, the Xin and the Ren. And the Xin facing, we have to be aware of the Qian coming in. So basically, this is what the formula telling us. When we set up a facing for a client, or when we go to a client for already established house, if we see such a configuration, then it has to be very careful. Like this morning, I went to a house and see this house, it exactly facing red. And then their stove is in Qian. The stove is Qian. There's a saying in the Feng Shui is called fire burn the heaven gates. Maybe some of you know this technique. This is the real one. The fire burn the heaven gate. And what really happened is they have a son very rebel. The father not listen to the father at all, and it's become very like a boss in the house. And he's only 12 years old. So the parent don't know what to do and call me in. Then I identify this is the problem. This is a yellow spring Sha. And this is also the fire burn the heaven gate. That's the real configuration of the fire burn the heaven gate. And then let me look at another another one. Here, it's the same here. Okay. So if let's say the door here facing Ren, and we have a Qian door, open the door in Qian here, this configuration is already a yellow Spring Sha. And inside, if there's a stove somewhere there or toilet there, it's also considered a yellow Spring Sha. So yellow Spring Sha, we say, is related to health, health problem, and then depends on the stem and the branch on which one's birth year. Let's say, go back here. Someone born in the year of the young water, then they will get affect the most. So in the San Yuan Yuan Gua system, we don't look at the Ming Gua, we look at the personal stem and branch. If the stem and branch align with the energy of the house, you straight away get it. You don't need to convert into Ming Gua or East Gua, West Gua. As long as your birth year in there align with the energy, you get it straight away. So it's very, very easy to look at, very simple to look at the configuration. So there's a tricky part, the tricky part is I actually write down all the degrees here. So in the Ren, see here, so it's actually from half of this Ren and half of the height, which is the peak. So if any of the facing direction fall into this degree, like 330 to 345, which is a 15 degree, so half mountain either way, then we have this Qian water coming in here, then it will matching this configuration, yellow Spring Sha. So this morning's case is actually the house is facing 339 degree, which is here, exactly here. So it's in the Ren sector, and there's a Qian stove. So it matching this yellow Spring Sha. Yellow Spring Sha is related to health. And I asked the father, since you move in, do you have any respiratory system issues? And he said yes, because Qian, that's Qian. Qian is metal. Qian is the lung. So of course, we straight away know it's an issue related to the lung. And then the stove there is called the fire burning the heaven gate, which is the youngest will offense the elder or the head of the house, which is the father. So they're very worried about this. So I suggest them to move the stove, to change the stove to a position which is better for them. And they are going to do it because they know it has problem. Because why they know is when they actually just spend about a couple of months with the kids in Shanghai. And when the kids in Shanghai, it's okay, it's no problem. But after moving back into this house, it happened again. So it is the house caused the behavior of this kid. The other thing is they put the kid at the back of the house, and the parent will stay in the front of the house. So that is in the wrong order. In general, we want the parent at the back of the house and the kids in the front. So you imagine for a company, a boss or a manager, they all sit at the back, they not sit in the front. If you imagine there's a general go to war, the general will at the back, directing, how to position the war to fight the war. But in this case, they put the son at the bedroom, the son at the back of the house, and they are in the front. So the son is actually controlling them, right? So two things wrong there. I told them because they have quite a good configuration in the well configuration. I say well has no problem. They admit say that yes, well is okay. Well has no problem. Only problem is the sun. So I say just do this thing, rectify the stove, and then move the sun to the front part of the house. Okay, so that's exactly matching this configuration. Then from 285 to 300, which is, you see, half of the Xin here, half of the Xin, and half 7.5 degree in the Shu. If the direction facing in this direction, then the Qian water or Qian activation, then it's also called yellow Spring Sha. In the Gen here, Gen from and the Xin monkey, so 240 to 255, that is another 15 degree. So any facing direction fall on this, either of this degree, 15 of them. Then if there's a Kun water, Kun activation, Kun stove, Kun toilet, Kun aircon, Kun washing machine, Kun fridge, they will cause a yellow Spring Sha. Of course, it will depend on this activation. If there's a very tiny activation, you have a aircon there, but you hardly turn it on, then it's very little effect. But if it's a door or a toilet, you flush all the time, you're using the door all the time, then this condition, this activation, the energy will be much stronger. So they will cause a yellow Spring Sha. Then if from 195 to 210, half of the yin fire ding and the goats, the weight, any degree, any facing degree on this one, then the Kun incoming water, Kun activation is also called the yellow Spring Sha. And by the way, in this configuration here, also in the San Yuan Yuan Gua, we had another name for it, but this we'll leave it for another day. I'm not going to confuse you, but okay. And then if we look at from here, the Bing, half of the Bing and half of the Si, 150 degree to 165, within this 15 degree, any facing, then the Xun coming, Xun water, Xun opening, that is called a yellow Spring Sha. From the Yichen, from 105 to 120, this 15 degree here, facing any of this degree, if there's a Xun water, Xun door open, then it will be a yellow Spring Sha as well. So all this yellow Spring Sha is on the cardinal direction, or cardinal direction. Okay, so let me show you this. Let's see. Make it a bit smaller. So this house is one of my students' house, Jennifer. So Jennifer's mom born in 1941. Jennifer's mom's born in 1941. Jennifer actually is very a good friend to Howard Choi as well. Back in 2019, I believe 2019, I had my course in Sydney. I run my advanced course, SYYG, San Yuan Yuan Gua course in Sydney. And Jennifer's father was from Hong Kong. And he knew that I'm from Hong Kong as well. And he's asked Jennifer to invite me to their house for dinner. I brought my compass with me. I know there's no such thing as a free lunch. So I brought my compass with me there. And when I reached the house, they will ask me, Edgar, how's my house feng shui? Then I pull out my compass, I measure the direction. The direction is 155 degrees. We measure it out, 155. So 155, if we go back to here, 155 here is in the Si and Bing, see? And the Si and Bing. And the Si and Bing, we have to be aware of the Xun water, right? Okay. So they have the entrance here, which is exactly in the Xun. Exactly in the Xun. So this configuration we call a yellow Spring Sha. So the Xun here actually is not a branch and not a stem. But if you know about Feng Shui, you should know what is called a na or replacement stem for the gua. So the Xun actually is replaced with a Xin, with the in metal. Replaced with the in metal. Her mother is born in 41, in metal. So actually her mother is here with the yellow Spring Sha. And Xin, you know, Xin is in metal. In metal is like jewelry, jewelries and like small metal. In metal, also the hip. After I measure, I draw this plan out and ask Jennifer, hey, Jennifer, how's your mother's hip? I say, how's your mother's hip? Jennifer is more excited than me and say, you ask my mom. And she told her mom, mom, come. And then say, Edgar, ask her again. Then I asked auntie, auntie, how's your hip? And she said, I had it replaced a few months ago, have the hip replacement. So that is the effect of yellow Spring Sha. Then of course here, the ren, see there's a ren here, because you facing the sitting will be high, right? And this a ren. And if we look at the ren and the high here, the ren, see the ren and the high. Ren and the high. The chen is the yellow Spring Sha. So at the back of the house here, in this is the chen sector. So that's the high and the ren door there. So they have a alphen here. That's the alphen. So alphen Chen is the father, right? Chen is the lung. So the father has a lung problem in this house. So with the yellow Spring Sha, we can identify what kind of illness, what kind of problem this person may have, and also the Chen, also the head. So sometimes can be the head, sometimes can be the lung. If you look at this is template. This is my template. So I will, I draw up all different organ here. Like the ding is the heart. We all know ding is the heart. Ding is the eyes, right? The yi, the kun here. Kun is, we all know, is the tummy. So the digestive system. The gung is the large intestine. The xin is the lung as well. The xin is the lung. The chen is the head. And the ren is the reproductive system. Like for men will be more prostate, for lady will be the reproductive area. The gray water is the kidney. The gun is the nose, right? The jia is the gallbladder, and the yi is the liver. So every organ is actually printed on the 24 mountain there. So when we identify which area is wrong, we know what to fix and how to fix it to help the client getting their health back. So it's very, very, very interesting here. So I suggest them how to change. Is like they can put a partition here, so to block the chi from this door, because from the center we can see the door, so if we put a partition, then you will reduce the impact. But the best way is you can close this door here, and then open a new door here, and that will become very, very good feng shui for them. And interestingly, when I'm standing here in the doorway, and measure it out, this edge, this angle is also in the Xun, in Xin. So it has a double impact on there. So in the San Yuan Yuan Gua Feng Shui, we not just measure from the center of the house, we'll measure from the door as well. Measure from the door, any door, like this door, or if they have a side door, we also need to measure the side door for the energy, see what kind of energy coming into the house. Then if there's a good, we'll invite more. If it's a bad energy, we'll just try to suppress it. Okay, so I show you another example. This is very easy. You guys can go and check. See, this is in Switzerland, in Geneva. I was there in 2018, and then I look at this case here in Geneva. If you go to the UN headquarters in Geneva, there's two sides. They have a lot of different country of flat there, and there's a door, a gate there. Measure from the gate, the facing direction is 201 degrees. So if we look at 201 degrees, coming back here, 201, which is in here, in between the Ding, the in fire, and the goat here, 205. And there's a Kun road. There's a road coming straight from the Kun sector, which is, you can see here, you're standing there, you will see the Kun road coming in here, Kun road. So in this configuration, it also calls a yellow Spring Sha. So because this road is very busy, very, very busy, so the energy is very, very strong. We look at what year will happen. Generally, we look at the stem and branch, right? Or the triple harmony combination year, then things will definitely going to happen. Then let me show you a few examples. So in the Ding year or the Gui, so Ding and Gui, they clash on the other side. The Wei can be Hai Mao Wei, the triple harmony, Hai Mao Wei. And then the Ox year also can happen. So there's the classical text from our great grandmaster Yang Xunsheng. He said, the Chinese way says, you look at the Tai Shui and then see from in which sector, when the triple harmony combination year, then it's gonna happen. So we can look at the history of the site of a house and shop or in building. So in 61 is the in metal ox, right? So in metal ox, one is in the front, one is the clash year. So in the in metal ox, there's a plank clash. No, there were 16 people die, and one of them was the Secretary General of the UN. I don't know how to pronounce this name, but the cause of clash still not explained until today. You can go online and check and find out. Then let's look at a more closer year. 2003, Gui, in water goat. Gui, Ding and Gui, the clash, and the Gui year, goat year, in the Canal Hotel bombing in Baghdad. 22 UN personnel were killed. In Ding Hai, see Ding Hai, Hai Mao Wei, Ding in water, in fire year, and the pig year, 2007 in Algeria. There are 17 United Nations workers were killed there. In January 2010, which is 2009, right? Because January is not yet start of the spring, not yet the start of the spring. So not start of the spring. So it's still kind of as the year of the ox. Year of the ox, it clashed with the weight. So there were the Haiti earthquake, and the UN team, they go to help out. They have a landslide and they were buried there, 102 people. Later one, in the Xin in metal Mao year, Mao is the rabbit. Okay, so Hai Mao Wei, Hai, which is the pig, rabbit, and goat, triple combination. In that year, also a plane clash in Congo. 20 out of 33 UN staff had problems, died there. 2009, year of the pig again. So year of the pig, Hai Mao Wei in March, actually in March, Hai Mao Wei, UN, 21 staff were, and along 157 died in a plane crash in Ethiopia. So you see all these years, either the pig, the rabbit, the goat, the ox, the ding, and the gui, and the yi and the xing. So yi, jing, ding, gui, and hai mao wei. So it actually matching back to the configuration. So for the rest, you can go and check yourself. Feng Shui, if you draw it out with a plan, is not lying. You can find the trace back to see what's happening. So the Feng Shui, we have the yin. Of course, we always say yin and yang. It's not all the yellow Spring Sha are bad. There's a good yellow Spring Sha that's called the saving the poor yellow Spring Sha and speed up the career yellow Spring Sha technique. It depends how you use it. If you use it correctly, you help someone. If you use it incorrectly, you are kind of ruin someone or killing someone or bring them some sickness. So in the lineage, we will discuss about what is a real yellow Spring Sha and what is saving the poor yellow Spring Sha. And also there's many other configuration. Maybe I'm not sure. Maybe some of you heard of like the Basa. The Basa is like bullying, or people get bullied. They have definitely have a Basa configuration in the house, or a real Basa people come to bullying, or so-called, we had another configuration is called the 500 killing. 500 killing. I have a student in Queensland, live in Queensland. Her house actually has such a configuration, and the 500 killing generally is related to accident.
Sorry, Master Young, just wanted to interrupt. It's Victoria here. I'm just conscious of timing. It's 11:34 now, and I just want to make sure we can get your Q&As in if possible. Otherwise not, but just reminding you of the time. Thank you.
Okay, no problem. It will be very, very, very quick. So there's a configuration called 500 killing, and as I mentioned, one of my students, her house had this configuration, and 500 killing generally related to fire, water, or traffic accident, or thunder, called thunder. So while her father was actually struck by lightning twice and eventually killed by electrical shock. So the feng shui is actually, we can see a lot. It's really, really powerful. So thank you so much. I'm happy to answer some of your questions here. So thank you. That's my presentation. Maybe it was go too fast, but if I know there's a recording, you can go back to the recording, and also maybe some of my pronunciation is not that right as well. A little bit. I apologize for that, but that is my presentation. Thank you.
Master Edgar, lovely. If you want to just take your presentation down, and then we can see you. And I think because you're late night, we'll take questions now. We've got some question time set aside. So we'll take any questions or comments that people might have for this deep dive into the yellow stream, and see whether anybody wants to share anything or ask anything. I will do that now. So I'm just going to look at the chat and see if anybody has a question. Wonderful. Thank you. Very interesting. Yeah. It is powerful, isn't it? You're moving that. It's interesting, this dynamic that you shared about the leader of the house isn't always the leader of the house. And that the 12-year-old son was the leader of the house. And then you made the adjustment to do that. That's interesting, because parents, we have to make sure the parents lead rather than the children. And you found a solution to that. That was interesting.
Yeah.
Sorry. So Suzanne's asking, does it always involve moving a door if you find your yellow Spring Sha? Does it involve moving a door? Does it always involve moving a door?
Well, if you want to fix it forever, yes. If or you can do, put a partition. But partition is just not 100%. In my opinion, it's not 100%. If we move the door, but I know some apartment is very difficult. Apartment or houses in the UK. I seen lately I've been to London, and I see some houses which is not easy. So you can kind of do some partition. And if it's a stove, then we move away the stove, or use a portable stove. We don't use a stove. Yeah.
Yes, and certainly in modern homes that are tight, smaller city apartments, tight houses where everything is set, it can be difficult.
That's why we have so many problems nowadays.
It's interesting, isn't it? Yeah, making those adjustments and moving things around. Certainly in a larger home, you have more scope. I'm just going to say, so Artie Chin's asking, how can this method be used to help a person about their health? He's saying, I was diagnosed with a blood cancer in 2017. Could this method help prevent a health crisis? He's asking.
Yes, definitely. So the yellow Spring Sha is just one of the area we identify health issue. But if, let's say, if we have the Qian sector, right? The Qian Gua. Qian is the head, right? And then if they have like in the south, in the Li Gua, Qian and Li, they're actually early heaven, later heaven relationship. They are two connected area. So if they are such area, they are bad, and then past another Gua area is in the Zhen Gua. So the Zhen Gua and the Li Gua and the Qian Gua. So actually in the lawsuit number is 369. And if all these three Gua has problem, definitely will be a health problem, a very serious health problem, maybe cancer. So if you do a feng shui, we find out if such area has problems, then definitely we can help them to rectify. Or if they build a house, we make sure they don't have this configuration to start with. Then make sure everyone will live in the house will be happy and healthy.
I'm going to ask you another question from Adela. She said, you mentioned that closely following how the layout affects the health of the people living in the house. How does this relate to guests? Does the dynamic shift? Is it something you also work with to make sure guests' energy does not change the dynamic of the energy flow? And I don't know whether she means a guest for dinner or a guest coming to stay for a while. But
meaning the guest, meaning the annual qi, the annual energy.
Say that again.
Maybe the annual flying star.
Their energy.
Maybe she meaning the annual gas energy, the flying star qi coming in. So actually, the SYYG Sanyuan Gua, we are more focused on the natal layer. If the natal layer is very strong, right? Like our health is very strong, a little bit of cold, it doesn't kill us, but our health is very weak. Like the house natal is very bad. The natal feng shui is bad, and then any gas, any 5 yellow or sansa or Tai Shui coming in, that will affect our health a lot for sure.
Got it. Christian's asking, if we use cures, then how do we learn or take responsibility for our karmic process? Asked Christian.
Right.
You understand what he means there?
Should I explain more?
Christian, okay.
Yes.
Ask the question.
Fantastic. What you've shared, I really honor that lineage. But it seems that you're using the feng shui system that we would prevent accidents and deaths. but that is part of life and part of our karmic learning process. And even with Ron Chin, his cancer situation, I know Ron, you know, for many years, it's taught him something, the process. If we'd used feng shui to make sure he didn't get the cancer, or we didn't have accidents or buildings being blown up, what is the true long-term karmic life learning and about our taking responsibility for our actions?
Wow, this is a very philosophical question.
That's me. That's what I do. Yeah.
So you mean as a person, right? As I believe every person want to live a better life, want to have a good life, have a lucky life. They don't want to go through any sickness, any illness. That's why the feng shui come in.
Sure.
And if you're talking about like personally, like we interfere with someone's cosmetic karma, I believe we are interfere in a good way. We're not in a bad way. So if like, let's say, but however, if I will not initiate any feng shui cure or any feng shui issue when I visit a friend, only they ask me, then I would say, okay. If they don't ask me, I don't comment, then that's okay. But when they ask me, that means they want to change or they feeling have something wrong, then we can help them. And if according to the Buddhist teaching, if we do something good, we accumulate some good karma. We are not doing the bad karma here. That's not what I believe.
If I ignore a certain action that I'm about to take and I use feng shui at whatever level to make sure that event doesn't happen, then I'm interfering with a karmic process, a timeline.
Right. Then this is he assume we are on predestinate. The destination cannot be changed. We are not predestinate.
I agree. Yeah, no, we can change anything. Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's why feng shui help us to change. If feng shui cannot change, then why we practice feng shui for? That you have to always ask this question.
That karma is drawing in a solution to a problem, and we're at a choice point. We're at a choice point of change. We've called in from inner knowing, check and see if I've got something coming up, and then
I think really the point is that we need to get to that point of taking responsibility for our actions, whether we're using feng shui or not.
Yes, definitely. I agree. That's totally agree. You know, totally agree. If we don't, if a person not knowing feng shui whatsoever, right, and they move into a house, then they ignore the feng shui. Maybe soon, if that house has a bad feng shui configuration, they will get some health issue or money loss. And then if they are aware, then maybe will invite the feng shui consultant to coming in. However, I can share experience with you. Is early this year, someone invited me to look at the house here in Melbourne. They are Indian background, but they grew up in South Africa. And when I get there, he said, "We are so lucky. We have a feng shui friend helping us look at the energy every year in the last 10 odd years." And I say, "Why you call me? Why you call me in?" He say, "Oh, it seems nothing work because the wife has a very bad cancer." And I identify what's the problem for them, which is the stove was wrong, the open door was wrong, the door opened wrong, the stove was wrong, and one of the toilet also wrong. So 3 areas wrong. So definitely has a health issue. But when they call me, it's very late already. You know, it's already spread. So maybe if you can say, "Oh, that's her destiny," but it's too young. but it's too young. But I've seen my master's case, someone with leukemia, they very quickly change their house configuration, then get cure and can recover very quickly.
And that is taking action and responsibility, and that has to go together with the
of course,
feng shui process.
yes, definitely.
It's a
Not to fix it, to make sure something bad doesn't happen.
No, when you have a positive energy, you have a positive thinking, you will go for it to do it. Like sometimes I tell my client, I say, when I help you do better feng shui, opportunity will come. You don't just can't sit at home and then someone drive past and throw you the money. No way. You just create more opportunity, but this opportunity is real. You have to grab it. You have to do it. Most of my clients they are enjoying this. Yes.
Thank you.
So, can I say something?
Who's speaking? Yeah,
It's RD.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm the one who asked the question because when I got diagnosed in 2017 with multiple myeloma, which is a cancer, I was like, I learned all of this feng shui. Why didn't I know it was going to come to my life? And so I was really angry. I said, here, I took all the feng shui classes and whatever, but why did this disease come to me? But I have to admit, I did use feng shui in combination with my, positivity, I'm sure. But here I am, 8 years later, I am now in remission. I'm able to walk and whatever. But unfortunately, my body got affected. But still, I'm able to now feel strong teaching Qigong and doing the Feng Shui again. But my question is, could Feng Shui, I suppose my question is, could have Feng Shui prevented the fact that I got a diagnosis of multiple myeloma? So, I don't know. I'm just throwing that out as another thought.
In my opinion, feng shui can prevent, but we are also responsible. Heaven, earth, and man, there's 3 layers of luck here. So heaven, which is we cannot control, like raining, cyclone, earthquake, we cannot control all this. But the feng shui, the earth part and the human part, like the human part, we have free will. Our diet will affecting our health, our exercise. In the Chinese medicine, the yellow emperor, medical connotes, they will say, if you are too worried, you get sick. Sometimes you're very scared, you get sick. You're overjoyed, you get sick. But so you have to practice, keep yourself calm with the chi flow in the body more smooth, then you will not get sick. And of course, nowadays, I think in my opinion, the Western medicine and the Eastern medicine, Chinese medicine, is so different. The Chinese medicine, we look at the whole body, our body and our environment. But the Western medicine, no, they just look at, use a microscope. Like when you have indigestive problem, digestive issue, they cannot find what issue, then maybe they refer you to the heart, the cardiologist. And when the cardiologist cannot find the problem, they will say, go to the nerve, the nerve expert. When the nerve cannot find it, they ask you, go to the psychiatrist. So they are separate different, different area. In fact, it's not. It's just one area. We are a human as a whole. So the most important is the yang energy, our qi, they have to flow in the body more smooth, more stronger. Then that any problem will be fixed. So have to be more happier, laugh more. When we laugh, actually our brain doesn't know we are real laugh or fake laugh. But as long as this movement, your dopamine will secretion out. That's scientific proof. So there's a different layer. We don't just use say feng shui, we do the feng shui and we don't do anything, then we will be well. It's not. So as I told some of my clients, they do the feng shui better, you have to work. No, you will be forced to work harder. You will be forced to work harder. It's not like you got good feng shui, you're sitting at home, someone, then bring you some money. No, it doesn't work that way. In the Chinese saying is the heaven repay those who work hard. The heaven pays those who work hard. Yes.
You're right, Ron.
Okay.
Yes. So I'm borrowing time from a question session after our comfort break. So we're going to do one last question, and then we'll have our comfort break, and we go for your Melbourne evening. Felicity's asking how important is the person's astrological chart in relation to the house, both past and present residents, to the qi?
Wow. So in San Yuan Yuan Gua system, SYYG, we will look at the person birth year instead of the whole chart. Unless we want to activate relationship, we will use the day pillar. But if we generally to activate someone's career, the wealth or luck, we use just the birth year. It's good enough because the birth year will be, you can find on the 24 mountain, because the 24 mountain, we have the 10 stem and the branches, right? In fact, it's 8, but the Wu and Ji is in the center, in the middle. So actually, it's still 10 of them. And sometimes to give confidence of my client when I auditing analysis their house they move in, I will tell them what happened to the previous tenants or owner. Last year I was in Sydney, and this guy bought a house, wanted to do renovation, and I was invited to do it. And he asked me what happened to the previous owner. Then I look at the floor plan. I say someone had an affair. Then he asked the real estate agent and find out really the wife has an affair. So actually you can see that. So sometimes it's very, very interesting. Yeah. With the feng shui. Yeah. Because the feng shui, we have the time factor, like the year, the stem and branch, the time factor. We look at the stem and branch more than look at the flying star, the annual flying star. The annual flying star just a little bit helpful. It's not that strong. It's not that powerful. In my opinion, maybe you learn some of you learn flying star. You think flying star is very powerful, but maybe it is powerful, but it's not 100%.
Got it. And finally, Will's just saying, what's your definition of qi? He's asking for your definition of qi.
My definition of qi is the air, the qi. In the book of burial, the first sentence already talk about the qi. Qi is, you rise up into the sky, come down as rain and water. So the qi is the mother of water. So when the qi accumulate, it becomes water. Like the condensation, you look at the qi condensation and become water. So, or you can look at air, qi. Qi is vital because if no qi, we all die, right? No wind, we all die. No water, we all die. We not exist. If we think of a bigger, broader definition to feng shui, wind and water. If the world has no wind, no water, we all cannot exist. So wind, yeah.
Got it. And thank you so much. We're going to end the presentation now. And if you switch, Master Edgar, your screen to gallery, you'll see everybody either waving their hands or thanking you. If you put gallery view, I'm going to do gallery view as well. And then you can see everybody on the gallery.
Yeah, gallery.
Thank you.
where to? Okay, so
Lovely. That is great. Thank you so much.
this is great. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Excellent. I'm glad we had that recorded as well. Bless you.
Day.
Thank you so
Okay,
much indeed.
thank you. Okay, bye bye. Bye
Bye-bye.
bye.
Good. Thank you.